everyone, it's Nico, and I've had the chance to play some of Cash Cow DX for Nintendo Switch a little bit early, so I wanted to bring you kind of my impressions and show off some gameplay, as this is releasing soon. Now, this is a port of the same game from PC that Flynn's Arcade has been kind enough to bring over to the Nintendo Switch, and if you're not already familiar with Flynn's Arcade, all you really need to know is that they do a great job of finding like these little hidden indie gems from PC and porting them over to the Switch. Cash Cow DX is another arcade style game similar to the developer's previous title, which was Stellar, and that was Donut Dodo. And your main objective in this one is that you play as this little cow. There's 5 total levels, although they're not single screen like a lot of these arcade style games are. This one's more multi-screen and has like some scrolling to it. It has like these green, Mario Brothers-esque pipes that basically bring you just to the other side of the screen. So you can go from the far left side to the far right side, or the far right side to the far left side. And there's also some pits you could jump down into, and these will have you fall from the sky in roughly the same spot that you were in when you went through the ground. And your main objective is to just collect all the moony. Not the money, the moony. See, they're laying it heavy with the cow puns. So, it doesn't matter the order, as long as you collect all of the money, it'll complete the level. That's the point when the level's completed. Now there's enemies that will kind of chase you around and move in particular patterns. And there's gems you can collect, which will give like the money a multiplier essentially, so that you can earn up a higher score. And the faster you kind of go, the better your score is going to be, because you rack up a combo, and if you keep that combo, you'll get more points. And then every 100,000 points, you get a 1-up. And yeah, like on the sides of the screen, you can kind of see this information, which is a nice use of like the screen borders, is to give you kind of like that arcade feel. It kind of looks like an arcade style bezel, and the artwork's really nice and colorful, so I appreciated that about. Now, this game is a little bit different than some of the other arcade style games that I've played and covered on my channel, because those I liked from the beginning. This one in the very beginning, I really didn't like it. And it took me like 3 or 4 tries on the first level. I just kept getting a game over like on the first level. So it took me like 3 or 4 tries before I was like, okay, I'm starting to understand this now. Because there's only a couple different enemy types, but they move in a specific way. And you would think that with there only being a few different enemy types, it would be predictable. But sometimes the level layouts make them move in unpredictable ways. And I was like getting hit and dying and kind of getting frustrated. And then your little cow friend kind of moves. He moves fluidly, but he moves a little bit awkward. It's not like a platformer style run cycle. It's a little bit more of kind of like a hop or a skip. So at first I didn't really like this. But after a few runs, it really started to grow on me. And then before I knew it, I was able to clear all 5 of the levels. And that was only on the easy difficulty. After you clear the easy difficulty, you then unlock the normal difficulty. And then if you clear normal, you unlock hard. There's also different modes as well. There's a speedrun mode, and then like kind of like a marathon mode. And then obviously the main mode's arcade. And after you clear the game the first time, you also unlock a second character that plays a little bit differently than the default character. So they have like different settings and attributes. So you can kind of pick your favorite. The one you start with kind of controls a little better, and then the other one that you unlock is kind of a little bit faster, but doesn't quite control as smoothly. So, depends on what you prefer. If you prefer the speed or the control, I prefer the control, so I kind of stuck with the main character. But the 5 levels that are included here do take some kind of mastery. You're most likely not going to just clear this game on your first try. It's probably going to take you a few tries. You might die on the first level a few times like me and get a game over. And then obviously you start over because this is an arcade game. And then, maybe you'll get to the 3rd level. Then maybe you'll get to the 4th. And then maybe the 5th. And then if you're like me, you'll probably get a game over on the final boss a few times. Then eventually you'll beat it. And I promise, if you play this, when you do beat it, it's satisfying. And then I thought, okay. And then what did I do? I played more. So I actually really enjoyed this, when at first I really didn't. So if you try this and you feel like me and you're like, oh, I don't like this, stick with it. At least try it a few times, because once you get the hang of its controls, kind of the different things on the screen, like the little slides, in manipulating your character and moving and dodging the enemies, you start to really get in the flow of it and rack up a good score, and you could post those to your local leaderboard. It's a lot of fun, and I was quite surprised by the end of it, because again, I didn't really enjoy it in the beginning. The music's pretty catchy. I really liked the colorful art. The aesthetic of it, they get like a 10 out of 10 in terms of nailing, like, if this was in the 80s, like, this would have fit right in, right? Like, they nailed that aesthetic to fit that era of arcade gaming. So 10 out of 10 in that regard. This is just one of those games that's like perfect for the Switch, because there's some times where maybe you have like a few minutes to kill, maybe you have 10, 15, 20 minutes, and you just want to play something fun and not get into anything too serious where you got to worry about save points or leaving off in a spot where you won't remember where to go next. These types of games are great for that. And I love being able to just grab my Switch, kill 10, 15 minutes, play it for a bit, and then set it down. So I love having these arcade style games on the Switch. And this is one that's like really easy for me to recommend because it is really fun. But just be aware that in the beginning, it felt really difficult. And I don't necessarily think that that was me just being bad. I think that probably most people are gonna have some troubles in the very beginning, because it does play a bit differently than other arcade style games like this. Like, it has kind of elements from like Sonic. There's these little loop-de-loops you can run through, and there's the slides, and understanding like your invincibility frames and things and manipulating that. And then also there's usually one pickaxe on each level, in kind of utilizing that to eliminate as many enemies on screen as possible, because it kind of functions like the hammer from Donkey Kong, and just eliminating as many enemies as you can, and then making it easier for you to clear the rest of the screen. Like, there's all these kind of nuances to the gameplay that make it really fun and rewarding to play. So this is Cash Cow DX. Thanks again to Flynn's Arcade for allowing me to check this one out a little bit ahead. And I hope they keep bringing games like this to Switch, because these are just a joy to play, and I love hopping in these from time to time and killing a few minutes. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff, and hopefully I'll see you on my next video. But until next time, have a good one.